Alright guys, there is a new medieval campaign in development right now for Rome 2 Total War. That's right, it is called the 1207 AD, the Latinocratia. It's being developed by the original medieval 1100 AD team as well, who did 1100 AD, 1177 AD, and now they're doing 1207 for the Wrath of Sparta campaign DLC, which is just amazing. Converting this DLC into a medieval campaign is just the most fun idea. And so, yes, this is still in development. It's not quite in public domain just yet. You can't access it. I've got access to a closed beta thanks to the modders, and what we're going to do today is just go through what the mod is all about, what factions you can play, what the campaign kind of looks like, the map, starting positions, etc., and what the battles look like as well. Before we dive straight in though, if you don't own Total War Rome 2 or its DLCs, you can pick it up with a massive 90% discount on Instant Gaming, a reputable game key reseller that I've been using for a little while now. They have a great roster of games with the rest of the Total War titles on sale and loads of others in their library as well. Games like Ghosts of Tsushima, Elden Ring, Crusader Kings, or even Manor Lords will all have much bigger discounts than before. So if you're thinking about buying, maybe for Christmas, make sure to click the link below to get your games for cheap and support the channel at the same time. Now let's get back to the video. So starting with the playable factions, we've got the Kingdom of Thessalonica, the Lordship of Crete, the Duchy of Athens, the Principality of Achaia, Empire of Constantinople, and the Republic of Venice. These are our Catholic factions, and they look really, really good. I'm very, very excited to check out each of them. We've got the Despotate of Epirus, the Tsardom of Bulgaria, Despotate of Carinthia, and the Empire of Nicaea as well. Here are Orthodox factions. And then we've got one Norman faction, the County Palatine of Kefalonia, and we've got one Sunni Islam faction, the Sultanate of Rum. They start down south there. Really, really cool, interesting factions to play here in this campaign. All of them, like I said, have unit rosters filled out as well. So if you go into the custom battles, you can see all these unit rosters look quite full. Lots of interesting units to recruit. Kingdom of Thessalonica, loads of units here, which is really, really cool. Lots of unplayable factions here that you can kind of check out as well. Triarchy of Negroponte, you've got the Duchy of Naxos, and a few others. But yeah, so all these kind of unit rosters are quite well filled out. Hopefully they'll get even more units as time goes on as well. But yeah, for a kind of mod in development, there's already a lot of units here to play around with. Now, here we are on the campaign side of things first, guys. We've got a lovely variety of factions, starting positions, wars, avenues for expansion, challenging kind of circumstances here as well. It's going to be very cool. And we've got lots of factions here that I didn't realize in the starting menu we didn't have either. So we've got the Empire of Nicaea. Obviously, if you look at the kind of diplomatic status as well, they're going to be at war with the Empire of Constantinople, very naturally as well. Constantinople has a few islands dotted around down south as well, so lots of kind of areas to defend and other areas maybe to expand as well, especially since we've got a defensive alliance with Bulgaria. This is going to be quite interesting to kind of conquer and expand into, try and defeat the Empire of Constantinople. Down south, obviously, we've got the Sultanate of Rum as well. They've got a couple cities here, Halikarnassus, Knidos, and Horzum, and Idaros. They're going to be a starting enemy right off the bat. So lots of kind of this is a very a vulnerable area of the Empire of Nicaea. I feel like kind of having a two-front war right at the beginning is going to be very difficult to handle, defend against, but there are potential alliances here to try and make use of as well. There's the Principality of Rhodes, you've got the Lordship of Crete, and the Duchy of Naxos. Maybe these island nations coming together trying to defeat the Sultanate of Rum back could help you out, could maybe, make things a little bit interesting as well if diplomatically that kind of works out. And then, obviously while you're dealing with this, but, there are lots of other kind of situations going on here as well. Bulgaria is obviously kind of stuck in the middle here of the Kingdom of Thessalonica and the Despotate of Epirus. Lots of interesting potential here as well. You've got Venice on the west side of Greece, lots of technological progression there, big big navies potentially to come through and upset the balance in the middle of the Aegean, take over some of these islands down here as well, or Crete even, which, you know, Venice is known to have done. So that could be very cool. Lots of interesting stuff you can do with Venice. You've got Achaia and the Principality of Athens, no, Duchy of Athens here as well. So, you know, there are so many interesting factions here to get into, to play around with. And, you know, the campaign itself looks really fun and interesting as well. Lots of little, you know, I mean, Halicarnassus, Kos, and Knidos so close together as the Empire of Nicaea, you know, defending against these cities, potential armies here coming up is going to be so interesting. There's just so many areas here where it's a one-on-one, well, what are you going to do? How many armies are you going to be able to build up here? The economy looks quite strong to begin with, as you can see here, but, you know, how are you going to invest that money into buildings, building up the economy, you know, negotiating diplomacy, you know, trade agreements, defensive alliances, all that? It's going to be so interesting to check out and see how you make a use of that. And then, of course, we've got updated mechanics as well. We've got new family trees, you know, new governments, political parties, and all that jazz, which I'm sure you love. You know, we've got Theodore the First, the faction leader of the Laskarid dynasty and the Empire of Nicaea. All these factions have updated family trees and circumstances here and kind of political governmental situation as well. So all that is done as well, which is quite cool. The tech tree has been updated. So, you know, you've got updated techs to buff stats across the board for units, infantry, you know, naval units as well, unlocking different types of buildings for recruitment, economic buildings, and all that jazz. All that has been updated to suit the time period as well. And obviously, you know, the same goes for building trees, unit rosters, like we've discussed as well. All of that has been updated too. I think all the kind of mechanics that have been brought over from medieval 1100 AD are present. So equipment is a factor here you need to keep in mind. If you didn't know this already, it's a very cool little mechanic. You need to have weaponry and different types of armor and horses to be able to recruit certain types of units. So that's a very cool little mechanical system that they developed for 1100 AD that they've pushed on to the other new campaigns, including this one as well. And yeah, there's a few others just like it. Obviously, the other kind of mechanics, crusades, papal mechanics, all of that, I don't know if they are moving over. I imagine that they're not, but who knows? Maybe there's going to be some unique mechanics that they're going to develop for this campaign in particular, like they've done for the others. So only time will tell. But at the moment, at least on the campaign side of things, 1207 AD is looking very, very cool indeed. And then finally, guys, of course, we've got the battle side of the mod. There's some really great, interesting unit rosters here. I've got the Empire of Nicaea on the left side and the Duchy of Athens on the right. And you can see kind of straight away, there's some brilliant, beautiful looking units. A lot of them are new, and there's a lot of overlap between 1100 AD, 1177, and now this mod, 1207 as well. There are lots of units that have come over from those previous campaigns, which makes a lot of sense. Obviously, you know, they're roughly around the same period. There can be some updates. Hopefully there will be new units, new kind of reskins to some of these units as well, updated textures. I think there are, you know, there are new shields and armors that I'm seeing here, helmets that I've never seen before as well. So there's definitely a bit of a visual upgrade to a lot of the units already in the mod, as well as new units here as well. And they just look really, really good from a battle balancing perspective as well. Just to kind of touch on that, if you haven't played 1100 AD in a while, things have changed a lot over the years too. So balancing is in a great place. Cavalry engagements aren't so fast anymore. They're very, very slow and drawn out. So they'll be stuck fighting each other for a while. You know, ranged missile damage has been nerfed quite a bit as well. So they take a while to take out, to really have an impact, unless, you know, the units are quite close and you're firing at them point range. But yeah, so there's lots of basically improvements from a balance perspective that I really like. The melee engagements, depending on the unit, of course, you know, rock, paper, scissorish a bit. You know, if you've got a pikeman going up against really strong swordsmen like I do in this battle, you're not going to have an easy time with your pikemen, but, you know, vice versa. It's a very nicely balanced, I think, mod at the moment from a battle perspective for a lot of factions. There are factions with very overpowered units, but, you know, that's kind of the norm with most Total Wars and Total War mods Anyway, at the moment, it is pretty good. It plays really well. I quite enjoy it. The battles look really good from a balancing, from a visual perspective. The new factions have a variety of really nice looking units as well, and I've just had a lot of fun with it. I've been playing it for a few days now. It's really, really good, and hopefully it comes out soon for you to check out as well. And that's going to be it for today, guys. 1207 AD isn't public just yet to play. It is in closed beta. I've had access for a few days and it looks really, really good. It's great fun. There's still a bit of polishing to be done, of course, especially on the campaign side of things to get things up to speed, make sure the AI has the right priorities, all that jazz. But it is definitely getting there and I can see it being made public very soon. So keep an eye on for that. If you are interested, drop into the Discord, which I've dropped a link below in the video description to get up to speed with all the latest updates and when the public announcement is made for when the mod is launching. Definitely drop in there. And of course, if you enjoyed this video, give it a like, drop any thoughts or questions in the comments section below, and subscribe to the channel for more just like this. Thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you next time.